Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thanks for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Headlines. We're going to start off with a big fight coming up. We're going to talk about the undercard. Let's go over to UK, where Anthony Joshua is going to take on Jermaine Franklin. And we've got some words on the undercard. Craig Richards will face Richard Politniks for the WBA Intercontinental Light Heavyweight title. And EBU European middleweight champion Matteo Cignani will defend his belt against Felix Cash. And this will take place at the O2 in London on Saturday, April 1st. Richards, with a record of 17-3-1 with 10 knockouts, was originally scheduled to face Politniks 19-6-1 with 8 knockouts, by the way, on the undercard of the Dillian White close points win over Jermaine Franklin at the OVO Arena in Wembley last November. But the Crystal Palace man was forced to withdraw after falling ill during the fight. Spider returns to the scene of his spirited points loss to South London rival Joshua Buatsi last May, while Politniks, who holds wins over Hosea Burton and Stephen Ward, was last in action April 2022, decisioning Hrvoje Sepp over 8 rounds in Barcelona, Spain. Italy's European middleweight ruler Cignani, he's 32-6-3, 12 knockouts, landed the title for the first time against Jurvok Chatkian in Trento back in October 2019, before making the successful defenses against Maxime Bossier in 2020 and Ruben Diaz in May 2021. Il Giagaro lost the belt, however, to Anderson Prestott on a technical decision last June, but avenged that loss in November. So back and forth they go. Wockingham's former British and Commonwealth champ Cash, he's 16-0, 10 knockouts, is looking to add the EBU crown to his collection after enduring a frustrating 2022 in which he picked up 2 wins. Cash is on a collision course with American rival Austin Ammo Williams and hopes to face the unbeaten contender later this year after going face-to-face with him in a fiery ringside encounter in Leeds. Tickets, as you know, are not only on sale globally, but they're also on sale on our talkandfight.com site. Check it out. Let's go over to a story on boxingnews24.com by Barry Holbrook. WBO cruiserweight champion Lawrence Okolie says he wants to face unbeaten, highly ranked contender Richard Riekporhe to defend his belt against him at any time after he faces his mandatory challenger David Light, who's 20-0, by the way, 12 knockouts, next month on March 25th over the Manchester Arena in Manchester, England. It's disappointing, says the author, the way Okolie has been stagnant career-wise, and you can argue that he should be a superstar by this point if he'd have been kept busy, matched against a cutting-edge competition, and moved quickly to heavyweight. Eddie Hearn should have already put Okolie in a unification fight in the last 2 years and ushered him to heavyweight to be challenging for a world title by this point, he says. The way Hearn gave Anthony Joshua the red carpet treatment after he turned pro and seemingly kept Okolie in the slow lane is hard to ignore. Okolie says he's interested in moving up to heavyweight at some point, but he doesn't appear to be in a hurry to make that move with his career. He says he wants to first unify at cruiserweight and then move up to bridgerweight and capture a belt in that division before eventually making the jump to heavyweight. Okolie isn't saying whether he wants to unify by defeating 1 or 2 champions at cruiserweight before moving up. If he's talking about capturing an additional 2 straps before moving to bridgerweight, it could be done eons from now and is hardly worth it, considering the lack of popularity of the other 3 cruiserweight champions, Ilunga Makuba, Arsen Gualmirian, and Jai Apatala. Many boxing fans now believe the big 6'5" Riekporhe, 16-0, 12 knockouts, is ready to kick the 30-year-old Okolie. I was going to say something else. 18-0, by the way, 14 knockouts off his throne as the WBO belt holder. But Riekporhe's right-hand rivals Okolie, and he possesses far better hand speed, technical skills, and coordination, says the author. Whatever edge the 2016 Olympian Okolie once had over Riekporhe due to his amateur pedigree has disappeared because of a combination of inactivity and lackluster competition. As the WBO champion, Okolie has been a big disappointment, defending it just twice in 2 beats, beating Mikhail Kishlak a year ago in March in a competitive 12-rounder, unanimous decision, by the way, and then stopping little-known Dylan Prozovic in the 3rd round in September of 2021. Okolie captured his vacant WBO cruiserweight title in March 2021, stopping former world champ Krzysztof Galacki in the 6th round. Interestingly, Riakporhe did a better job of defeating Glowacki, scoring an easy 3rd-round knockout last month on January 21st back in Manchester. If you were to compare the 2 performances against the same opponent, there's no question that Riakporhe did a far better job of handling the still dangerous Glowacki than Okolie did. So there's a bit of an update on Lawrence Okolie and where he might end up. Let's move along to another defender. Murodjon Akhmadilov will defend his WBA and IBF World Super Bantamweight titles against Marlon Tapales at the Boeing Center at Techport in San Antonio, Texas. That takes place on Saturday, April 8th, as the co-main event to Jesse Rodriguez's quest to become a 2-weight world champion when he faces Christian Gonzalez for the vacant WBO flyweight crown. Tickets, by the way, are on sale now and certainly can get them through the talkandfight.com website. Rodriguez, 17-0, 11 knockouts, drops down to 112 pounds in his quest to land world title honors at a 2nd weight after an incredible year in 2022. Bam, as is known, became boxing's youngest world champion when he stepped in late to dominate former world ruler Carlos Cuadras to land a vacant WBC super flyweight strap in Phoenix in February, and then came home to San Antonio for his first defense, where he put on a stunning display at the venue that he goes for 2-weight glory in when he stopped Thai star Sriskat Sor Rungvisai inside 8 rounds back in June. And those wins saw Rodriguez named as Fighter of the Year, by the way, in ESPN's mid-year awards. And in September, he successfully defended the green-gold belt once again, this time in Las Vegas as a co-main event on the Canelo Triple G Trilogy night against Israel Gonzalez. It's same surname, different challenge for Rodriguez, as Mexican Gonzalez is 15-1, looks to upset the odds in his first world title fight. The 23-year-old is the number 2 ranked fighter in the division, one spot behind top dog Rodriguez. He boxes in all the states he boxes in the States for the first time in his 5-year career, having exclusively boxed on home turf to this point. Said Rodriguez, "I'm more than excited to be returning home for another world title fight. My last fight here was very special, and I can promise this one will be even better. I'm ready to make history in San Antonio when I become a 2-division champ. I'm here to start 2023 with a bang and nothing less. Thank you to Matchroom and the Taiken for yet another opportunity to reach greatness." Let's move along to an upcoming battle. This Saturday night, that's February 11th, from Mexico, TM Boxing, in association with Marv Nation, return to their weekly boxing series on Mexico's Imagine Network with an explosive clash between the 2 unbeaten prospects. Mexico's Raimundo Ray Vargas, 8-0, will face his sternest test of his career in Kevin El Gallo Negro Crespo, 10-0, 8 knockouts out of Tijuana in an 8-round featherweight contest. Said Director of Operations for TM Boxing, Eric Ibarra, "We would like to thank La Huerta Jalisco and the State Sport Commission in helping us to realize this event. We are anxious to see this fight between 2 up-and-coming prospects who are risking their undefeated records. Despite being the younger of the 2, Crespo, who's 20 years old, might have the experience advantage over the 25-year-old Rojas. The Tijuana native went pro in early 2021 and saw action 6 times before year-end. Last year, he fought 4 times, with his next fight marking his first of the year. This Saturday night will mark Crespo's first foray at 8 rounds, and he's coming off 3 straight knockout wins." Good stuff. All right. Let's go along now to Ramirez Dogbo and Xander Zayas Ronald Cruz. They headline a stack card, and the tickets are on sale now, taking place at the Hard Rock in Tulsa. 2 of Top Rank's brightest young talents, lightweight prospect Emiliano Fernando Vargas and undefeated Dominican Olympian Rohan Polanco are set to return on Saturday, April 1st, as I said, at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Vargas, who is coming off a unanimous decision win against Francisco Duque last week, will face an opponent to be named in a 4-round lightweight clash. Polanco, who was originally scheduled to fight in January, will make his top-ranked debut in a 6-round junior welterweight fight against an opponent to be determined. The two join an already stacked card headlined by interim WBO featherweight title bout between Robeisy Ramirez and Isaac Dogbo. The 8-round co-feature between undefeated Puerto Rican stars Xander Zayas and Ronald Diablo Cruz. So, Ramirez Dogbo, Zayas Cruz, and undercard bouts will stream live and exclusively in the U.S. on ESPN+. Over to the WBA and some news regarding Triple G. Story by Craig Daly out of BoxingNews24.com. Gennady Golovkin has been ordered by the WBA to defend his middleweight title against regular champion Erislandy Lara in his next fight. Earlier, Golovkin, 42-2-1, vacated his IBF title after he'd been ordered by the sanctioning body to defend against mandatory Esquiva Falcao. Rather than take that fight, which would have had been plenty difficult for the 40-year-old Golovkin, he chose instead to give up his belt, leaving him with just the WBA strap for now. With the WBA ordering Golovkin to defend against the 39-year-old Cuban Lara, he must decide whether he feels it's worth it or not to take this equally difficult fight against a highly skilled southpaw. So will Golovkin vacate his WBA belt, asks the author. Golovkin and Lara have until February 23rd to reach a deal before a purse bid takes place. Before then, we'll likely hear whether Triple G chooses to vacate his title as well. It won't be a huge surprise if Triple G vacates the WBA belt to swerve Lara, because he's looked something awful in his last 5 fights, dating back to his 2019 match against Steve Rolls. In Golovkin's last fight, he was beaten Canelo Alvarez by a 12-round unanimous decision last September, by the way. What was especially disappointing about that performance by Triple G was the lack of effort that he put out during the first 6 rounds. And for the most part, Triple G was circling the ring and tying up Canelo when he'd get near enough to let his hands go. Which brings us to our last story of the day regarding Triple G, in fact. And it comes out of the trainer of Jaime Munguia, who believes Jaime would knock out Golovkin if the two fought. The trainer is Erik Morales, and he says Munguia can win against Triple G and even knock him out, according to the former Mexican world champion, Morales, who currently works as Munguia's head trainer. Jaime is a young fighter who is pushing hard, and I can't see why we couldn't win against Triple G, said Morales. And I dare to say that Munguia would knock him out. Morales thinks that Munguia can beat Triple G because the Kazakh fighter is not as strong as he used to be. They are not in the same strength net right now, Morales explained. In his last fight, Golovkin looked diminished, despite the fact that he closed in better form than Canelo, but Triple G, looked tired. He's not the same Golovkin as he was 2 or 3 years ago. He's a great athlete, great fighter, but Jaime is pushing strong. He's 26 years old and has a future ahead of him. Last week, former Triple G's head trainer Abel Sanchez advised Munguia to stay away from Golovkin. Sanchez argued that the only one that can give Triple G any kind of trouble is Canelo. Munguia might get a beating if he fights Golovkin, according to Sanchez. Erik Morales then replied, Abel Sanchez came out a couple of days ago to say that Triple G would kill him, or something like that. I know that everybody has an opinion. Well, I know Jaime well. I think he has enough skills to face anyone, Triple G or Charlo. Morales can see Sanchez's point, but he doesn't think Abel is right. I understand Abel's position. I get his point, said Morales. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but I don't see any reason why he'd go in that way. It's true, we haven't had a strong level opponent in the last 2 years, but that doesn't mean that we cannot win against Triple G. We're looking to fight against the best opponents anyway. Jaime's ready. He has the speed, the strength. He has everything that's needed to fight toe-to-toe against anyone. There you go. Thanks for joining me, Boxing Fight fans. Appreciate it. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you later on for my core and Cedric Ben show. Knuckle up. Remember to hit that notification bell. Thank you.